The principle of operation of the Robot Constructor Pro. This is our new development, a visual robot constructor. You can also call it a visual strategy, a theater of robot strategies. The essence of it is that you add this robot to the chart for any currency pair, any time frame. And then all you need to do is just find some interesting breaks, prices, where you see that the price went in the other direction, or some interesting movements, prices that you would like to test. You select an arrow, for example, an arrow to buy and indicate here to the robot that here was an interesting break, and there was also an interesting break. Here are also interesting such moments. You can also show such a break was interesting. You can indicate several such moments, you can indicate on the chart many moments that interested you. And, for example, this is also an interesting moment, the price immediately went, the break is sharp. We can also indicate this moment. That is, we show the robot what moments of the price interest us. The robot then studies what exactly happened here. Using various trading tools and mathematical functions, the robot tries to understand what happened to the price at those points where you indicated with an arrow and why it went in the direction of the arrow. Well, for example, here it went up, here it went down. That is, the robot tries to understand all this. And then, when a similar situation appears on the current bar, which you showed here, the robot will open a deal. In the robot settings, you can specify a stop loss and profit, with which deals will be opened. But now let's try. In the strategy test, we specified several such moments. You can specify this number, you can specify much more, you can gradually specify. That is, find some two interesting turning points and test them, and then add some new ones. Well, for example, we launch a strategy test. We see that here the robot began to search, that is, it sees similar situations and begins to open deals. We see that it closed from deals, closed in profit, one deal went into the minus. But this is despite the fact that here we have indicated both the profit and the stop list of 300 points. But, for example, we can specify a profit of 30 points and put the stop further away. We are testing this on gold. We can specify it further away, let's set it to 1000 points, let it be. And we start again. Now for testing, let's remove the grid, reduce it here, add back some interesting moments on the market that interest us. Let's show the robot this. Let's look at this. I'll try to study the moment, what happened here to enter the market. Let's try to study this moment, what happened here, how the various indicators and various mathematical functions worked here, parameters, that the price went up, here the price went down, you can do it approximately here. And the robot will try to study exactly that bar and the bars next to it, where you indicated with an arrow, you indicated with an arrow at this bar, and the robot will study it directly. We can indicate here, there is a strong movement, such a strong reversal has occurred. We can also indicate, here there was a strong reversal, and it is necessary to indicate it precisely. We will indicate it precisely here, and we will show the downward break here. Let's try to launch and test. At such moments we found. Here, we see, the robot went to trade. That is, it began to see, and it began to open, it began to find these moments. That is, it compares the current bar, sees that the bar has exactly the same situation as it was during the arrow. And, accordingly, begins to open a deal. For example, if we see that some situation played out poorly, that is, this arrow, at this moment the price went down, and in other cases the price does not go down. Even when the same situation, we can, for example, remove this arrow from the chart so that the robot does not take it into account anymore, does not calculate the signal based on this arrow. And we begin to track further. That is, we tracked 9 deals, we closed all of them in profit. We are now testing the test, 3 strategies, but it is better to do this in real trading. Launch on a real chart for 5 minutes there or on one for 1 minute and test with different profiles, with different stop bosses. In essence, this robot is a mini artificial intelligence that tries to scan the chart, see where you have indicated with arrows the breaks and prices that interest you. And then, using a different number of different technical indicators and mathematical formulas, it tries to find a pattern of what was here at this moment, that the price turned around and went in the other direction, and will then try to find the same moments in the current market, on the current bar. But here, as we see, is the result. The robot is very easy to install, you just need to add it to the folder, move the experts to any chart of any currency pair, any time frame does not matter, and search for it yourself. Now, if you find some very cool pattern, very cool and will be very high, the robot will try to find exactly the same pattern, exactly the same situation on the market. But you will earn money, you will receive a profit if you find a pattern again and, accordingly, you will increase your profitability. The robot also has a magic number in the settings. It is possible on different currency pairs, on different ones. There you can specify a different magic number so that the robot understands which departments need to be managed. There are also many other different settings. All these settings we are in Telegram. We will describe to the group in more detail what it is for, what setting is responsible for the most basic ones. The important thing is the lot size. It is clear, this is profit, stop lot, magic number, maximum spread. If you want, you set it so that if the spread is higher than this, the robot does not open new transactions. And additionally, there are also characteristics, additional parameters for market analysis, which the robot uses to try to find the patterns that you indicated on the chart. So it downloads the robot file. You install this track 4 on yours and test, work, create your trading strategies. I am sure that everything will work out, and you will earn good money, get a good profit.